Beat. Bob Goff's memoir manifesto is proof that ordinary days ignite with divine fireworks when love turns from noun to verb. Beat. These stories flicker with whimsy, danger, and stubborn hope, inviting us to trade hesitation for holy mischief. Whimsy as a way of life. Bob Goff opens his life the way a child opens a kite, by running full tilt into the wind. Beat. Raised on equal parts curiosity and mischief, he discovers early that whimsy is not the enemy of purpose. It is purpose's secret fuel. Beat. We sail with young Bob as he teaches himself to climb 18,000-foot peaks because a magazine photo dares him. Beat. We watch him nail job applications, not by paper resume, but by delivering boxes of donuts every day until the law firm hires him. Beat. And we smile when he turns his family's daily commute into parade floats on the first day of school, towing his kids on the back of a convertible so the whole neighborhood waves. Beat. Goff's tales show that whimsy is not escapism. It is an act of holy defiance against the grey blur of routine. Beat. He argues that God's creativity did not conclude on the sixth day. It continues wherever his children improvise kindness. Beat. Each caper is a living parable. The balloons he launches for strangers, the keys to his office he hands out to anyone who needs a quiet place, the surprise trips he plans with no itinerary except to say yes. Beat. Underneath the laughter hums a deeper thesis. When we make space for childlike wonder, we create on-ramps for divine invitation. Beat. Whimsy splits open calendars so something eternal can leak through. Beat. By the close of this section, we realize that the question is not whether life holds adventure, but whether we will RSVP. Beat. Emphasis, invitation, is printed on every sunrise. Love does simply teaches our hearts to notice. Courage, fueled by love. If whimsy is the spark, courage is the flame that pushes love from idea to impact. Beat. Goff insists that fear is a persuasive storyteller, but love is a better plot. Beat. He recounts the night he sailed into a war-torn harbour in Uganda, a place strangers warned him to avoid. Beat. Children were being exploited, and Bob's legal skills could open prison doors the size of systems. Beat. With a backpack full of legal briefs and a heart full of holy audacity, he stepped onto foreign soil not to make a point, but to make a emphasis difference. Beat. The narrative pulses with airplane aisles, jungle roads, and courtroom benches. Beat. We witness a judge who, after hearing Bob advocate for falsely imprisoned kids, slams down the gavel and declares, "Not guilty." Beat. Then, miracle of miracles, the judge hands Bob his very own robe as a symbol that justice had changed uniforms that day. Beat. Courage in love. Does is not bravado. It is love with work boots. Beat. It is the willingness to be misunderstood, to risk reputation, to drain comfort for the sake of another's freedom. Beat. Bob tells of proposing to his wife, Maria, 37 times because every declined attempt taught him something about perseverance. Beat. Eventually she said yes, proof that daring persistence can melt fear and build futures. Beat. Through these anecdotes, Goff argues that perfect love casts out fear not by erasing risk, but by dwarfing it. Beat. When the cause is bigger than the cost, bravery feels like common sense. Beat. By section's end, listeners sense their pulse quicken. Beat. Courage, Goff says, is not a personality trait reserved for extroverts. It is a birthright of every soul, fueled by relentless affection. Beat. Emphasis, go becomes a holy verb. Extravagant generosity, love, once set in motion by whimsy and courage, takes material shape through breathtaking generosity. Beat. Bob's generosity is not a line item on a budget, it's a posture. Beat. He describes how he wrote his personal cell number in the back of 37 million copies of the children's Bible, inviting anyone, anywhere, to call. Beat. And callers do, at midnight, amid heartbreak, from prison blocks. And Bob answers, whispering hope into the phone lines of strangers who become friends. Beat. He tells of Airbnb guests who receive more than towels and Wi-Fi. They get keys to Bob's boat, fridge, and inner circle. Beat. Once, a couple mentioned they were eloping. Beat. Without missing a beat, Bob performed the ceremony at sunrise on his dock, popped open sparkling cider, and saw two lives braid into one beneath gull-streaked skies. Beat. Generosity also travels to Uganda, where Bob funds schools, pays teachers, and crowns once marginalized girls as leaders. Beat. He narrates the story of a child soldier who, after trial, refuses vengeance and instead starts a bakery to feed the very village that once feared him. Beat. Bob weeps as bread becomes communion in a war-scarred land. Beat. Through these stories, Goff dismantles scarcity thinking. Beat. He insists that giving is not subtraction. It is investment in a kingdom economy where joy compounds. Beat. I used to think you had to be important to shape history, he says. Now I know you simply have to be engaged. Beat. Emphasis overflow is the natural state of a heart convinced it is loved. Pragmatically, Goff offers listeners 3 questions. What do I have? Who needs it? What's stopping me? Beat. As we ponder, we feel resistance crack. Beat. Generosity becomes less about bank statements and more about creating little pockets of Eden wherever need and kindness shake hands. Living a story worth telling. In the final movement, Goff zooms out, inviting us to view our lives as narratives that can be edited in real time. Beat. He argues that God is less concerned with our ability to find the perfect script and more delighted when we co-write new chapters with him. Beat. Bob unpacks his ritual of New Year's Day resolutions, where instead of making promises, he chooses a single word to chase for 12 months. Words like love, leap, or reach. Beat. This practice, he says, steers the plot toward intentionality. Beat. He tells of Wednesday night dinners at his lagoon home, open to anyone who shows up. Beat. Strangers walk down the dock nervously and leave hours later hugging new friends, bellies full of tacos, hearts full of belonging. Beat. Each dinner table becomes a chapter where the readers and the characters are the same people. Beat. Goff reminds us that no storyteller wastes ink, and neither does God. Beat. The job we lost, the detour we hate, the heartbreak that still bleeds, each scene can be redeemed when filtered through active love. Beat. Even our failures become plot twists that send us sprinting toward grace. Beat. He closes the book with the audacious claim that heaven is infiltrating earth every time we throw a party for someone who can't repay us, write a note nobody expects, or forgive an offense nobody deserves. Beat. Emphasis. Story is not something we watch, it's something we write with every choice.